Do you like that?
Yeah, little bartender. 2 more.
Welcome to episode 62 of the Columbo podcast, where we like that a little, so I think we'll stay for 2 more.
Just 2?
2 or 3.
Yeah, I'll see how we go in.
How did we get on with this week's episode, Ian?
I enjoyed this week's episode.
Did you?
There were, bits and pieces to pick at, but on the whole, enjoyable.
Back to the more usual format, I think.
Much closer, yeah, we like that more.
Although there are a couple of twists.
Can't knock a twist.
No, you can't. How are we this week?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. You're very consistent, Ian.
Every week.
Can't be bothered coming up with an answer.
That's it, I can't even put the energy into thinking of something original to say.
We'll settle for that.
Been worse.
Big fan of Faye Dunaway?
Not really, not seen her in many things.
Fair
You know the
enough.
name?
Claudia Christian?
Again, this is the first time I've seen her, but I understand she is popular.
I would have thought that she was a well-known face in your circles of Star Treks and Wars and Babylon Deep Spaces and all that type of stuff.
Well, she was in Babylon 5, I've never watched Babylon
Oh,
5.
I thought you watched all these things.
No, just 1 or 2.
Lex, is that another thing?
Never heard of that.
No?
No.
I think it was some sci-fi spaceship thing.
There's only so much sci-fi that you can find time for. Well, only so much anything you find time for.
That's true. So why don't we crack on with this week's episode?
Will not take up too much time for people. There's only so many hours in the day.
There's always enough time for a good Columbo podcast summary, however.
In It's All in the Game, we meet Nick Franco and 2 of his lovers, Lauren Staton and Lisa Martin. Unhappy with Franco's behaviour, the 2 women conspire to murder him, setting the scene to look like a robbery. Lieutenant Columbo's investigations are seemingly hampered as Staton drinks with him, flirts with him, and otherwise tries to distract him from the task at hand. With evidence in short supply, Columbo realises he cannot build a solid case and must try to elicit a confession. Can the lieutenant find enough leverage to break Staton and Martin, or will the seduction prove successful?
We will find out.
Indeed.
We start at a party at Lauren Staton's house.
Yeah, there's a mariachi band in attendance.
Yep. We see a number of affluent-looking individuals drinking, having a good time, and watching an orchestral recital.
I'm not sure I ever quite caught what the party was for.
No, someone mentions that they think that she has been proposed to by her lover. But it's really sort of whispered between 2 friends. I don't think this is an engagement party.
No, it's not. And I think they were talking about her rather than talking about the party.
Perhaps it's just a party for the party's sake.
Maybe. Lauren certainly seems to be the host. She's the one getting the attention.
She is. She arrives wearing a red dress and is complimented by numerous guests. And we hear that apparently she is in love, and as I mentioned, the rumour is that she has been proposed to.
Absolutely. 2 of the ladies there do say that.
She asks a maid to look out for the imminent arrival of her supposed fiancé, Nick Franco.
Yep, she wants to be fetched when his car arrives.
And when she is told that he is pulled up outside, she makes a call from a private room. And the score becomes more ominous as she tells another woman that she is nervous. Tonight could be the night.
Absolutely. Unless he decides to stay with her.
She doesn't seem too confident that that will be the case.
Yeah, and by stay with her, I think she means for the rest of the evening, as opposed to stay in the relationship.
Correct.
You can hear there's a woman on the other end of the line, but we don't know anything about her.
Laura plays a little game with Franco at the door before opening it, and plays along at being devoted and in love. So this phone call immediately alerts us to the fact that she is not besotted with this guy.
No, certainly not now. And I don't think he's besotted with her either, but the 2 of them are playing the game.
He immediately appears to be a bit of a creep.
Oh, absolutely. He's a hideous man.
He is trying to be charming, but insists that he needs to get back to his poker game and that he is down $12,000.
Sounds like a good time to quit.
Yes, well, you're behind.
Yes.
She leaves him and again places a call to this other woman. And it's clear that he is lying about the poker game and is going to see the person on the other end of the phone.
That's what they both seem to think. He pretends at this point that he wants to stay. He wants to stick around. He doesn't really want to go back to the game.
Yeah, and Laura tries to pretend to... No, in fact, she says she pretends to be disappointed but understands.
Yeah, it's a big charade, really, isn't it? He does leave, though.
He does. When she places the second call, do you remember that she tells this other woman not to forget her gloves and to take care?
She definitely says that, so you get a bit of a hint there that there may be murder in mind.
Anytime someone wears a pair of gloves, when it's not extremely cold, they are up to murder.
Murderer's gloves.
Yeah.
Trivia question for the listeners. Name 3 Columbo characters you've seen wearing gloves who did not kill anybody.
Ah, that's a good one.
And we don't need to check until they give us an answer.
No. I mean, the fact that the
In fact, let's
episode is set in LA.
Yeah, let's go one step further. Provide screenshots of 3 Columbo guests or stars who wore gloves and did not kill anybody.
Are you asking an impossible question here, or feet?
I don't know.
Not feet, hands.
It's
Where are we next?
a bar or a club of some kind. Franco's dancing with another woman. We don't know who.
No, but I think it's safe to assume that it is the other woman from the phone call.
I think that's fair to say.
It's Elisa Martin.
Yes, he chastises her.
He gives her the same bull about how much he loves her, and as you alluded to, we have a fairly sinister moment.
Why do you make me sound so vain?
Do you know what I'm gonna teach you to do? Play. Tease. Flirt. Such a serious young lady. Probably comes from growing up in Italy.
What about my neck?
I love you. I want to spend my life with you.
You frighten me.
Do what I tell you. Believe what I say. Know that I love you. I hate looking at that. Don't make me do it again. Come here. Just stay close. I'll take care of you.
How would you describe Nick Franco?
Technical term.
Yeah,
Scumbucket.
indeed. Horrible creature, isn't he?
Slimy.
Yep.
Loathsome.
Violent.
Creepy.
But that in itself is almost acceptable when it's a personality trait, but it's more than that, isn't it? It's a dangerous, violent man.
He's a criminal.
An animal.
A monster.
He's evil incarnate. Probably the most evil man that has ever lived.
I know where you got that phrase from.
Do you?
You've been talking to Mr. Kaczynski.
Could have been. He was played by Armando Pucci. He has been in The Beauty Centre, The West Wing, Shadow Dancer and Spin City.
I like Spin City.
Yeah, but he has never really established, he's been bit parts here and there.
Oh well.
No breakthrough, no major breakthrough.
Probably because of this role.
Yeah, people
can't
thought
look
he
at
was,
him.
a pure scumbucket.
It's probably on his CV.
Yeah, scumbucket. Mind you, there's plenty of roles for scumbuckets out there. I'd have thought he could have marketed himself as that. No, head chief scumbucket.
That would be one approach. He certainly had the feel of a scumbucket.
He should have. Apparently he has a PhD in scumbucketry from Yale.
I heard about that. Online course.
Yeah.
Lots of practitioners on Twitter. Not on our Twitter, obviously.
Of course not. From the bar we head to Laura's bedroom and she is sitting, thinking for a moment before packing an electric blanket, some money and a silenced gun into a bag.
We've seen an electric blanket on Columbo before.
Can you remember the episode?
Suitable for framing.
Yeah.
says season 1, episode 4.
Correct, I think.
Right after Dead Weight.
Have you looked that up recently?
I haven't. I just remember season 1 for some reason.
She receives a call from Lisa at the bar and tells her that she will be at the apartment later, and reminds Laura not to forget the light switch.
Wait, is it Laura or Lauren?
I think it's Lauren. Have I been saying Laura?
You have.
Yeah. The reason is that I can't be bothered writing the name out in full, so I write Law, L-A-U.
Okay.
So I don't know how it ends. So if I do say Laura in the future, it's because I'm too lazy to write Lauren.
Fair enough.
They both confirm on this call that they are sure they want to proceed with the plan that they have. And then we see Franco appear outside the phone booth that Lisa is in. And he's been creepy again. He's got a little love note, hasn't he? She pretends to smile and...
Yeah, I'm dubious about the level of soundproofing on this phone booth.
Yeah, I would be a bit worried if I was Lisa. I'd be hanging up immediately.
Or at least being more guarded in what I said. Especially when this guy's known to be violent.
And you're planning on murdering him.
Yes. Yeah, they've run through a final checklist, so Lisa's reminded Lauren to do the light switch and says she has remembered her gloves.
Correct.
So they're all set.
Lisa and Franco arrive at Franco's apartment in the underground garage, and they go up the stairs, and Franco discovers that the lights do not work.
That's right. He tries to switch.
He does try them, and as he fumbles around, he hears some voices. And what happens?
Well, he shouts Lisa's name because she stops responding to him, and then Lauren steps out of the shadows and says, no, it's the other woman.
And
he doesn't even give him a chance to think about what was said, shoots him.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more recognition, a few more moments of explanation as to why he's about to be murdered.
Yeah, it's a bit like Sex and the Mad Detective. You get the reveal and the immediate murder, and it's not, you don't give the victim enough time to realise that they are in the wrong.
Maybe we are just a little bit more nasty than some people, wanting to see a bit of pain, a bit of torture before suffering. Yeah,
he deserved it.
He certainly did. Yeah.
Talking about unsympathetic victims,
right up there, isn't he?
He might be the new leader in that category.
Could be. Yep. After he dies, both women embrace before putting the electric blanket over him. Now, this is interesting. Did you assume or think that perhaps these women were in... This is the first time we sense that they are not simply two women who have been cheated on.
Yeah, they've not just found each other out.
There's a stronger relationship, and I suppose the obvious assumption is that they themselves together are in a relationship.
You know, you think about that, but I don't think they act like people in their relationship. They don't. When they embrace, it's a hug. It's not. There's no.
Yeah, but I would have assumed that the reason for that was because it was Columbo in the 90s and it was a family TV show, and perhaps not. You know, back then it wasn't as acceptable to show anything, and perhaps they were hinting at it without being explicit because of that.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get a relationship vibe, for want of a better word, from the way they spoke to each other and from the way they acted around each other. From the embrace, I thought, well, maybe, but there wasn't anything to back that up, I don't think.
Okay.
They've got a complicated plan.
Yes. Lauren gives Lisa instructions to complete this plan, and what they're trying to do is make it look like a burglar was responsible.
Yeah. And also to get an alibi for Lauren.
Yes. Lauren returns to her party, which is still in full swing.
Yep.
She joins in a sing-song and tells friends that she had taken a short rest because she had a headache and she's had an aspirin which has sorted her out.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Lisa saws through a lock on the patio door.
Yep, this is obviously to simulate a break-in.
But yet later, the guy who looks after the building doesn't have any recollection of anyone being there. Surely that would have made a noise.
Yeah.
He didn't hear Franco come in with Lisa. He didn't hear sawing through the lock. He didn't hear the gun.
If he's in his own room, TV up quite loud, watching the...
Yeah, but he states with certainty that nobody was there.
You can't be stating that.
He's wrong.
Back at the party, Lauren retires for the evening.
Yeah, she's pretending that she's not well still, so she's away for a wee nap.
In Franco's apartment, we see Lisa sit and wait for Lauren to arrive, who signals this by pressing the apartment buzzer. This gives Lisa time to remove the electric blanket and prepare her exit.
It does. Just before that, we saw her sort out the circuit so the lights are working again.
Yes.
And then we move on to this, and you hear the doorbell sounding twice. It's not answered, but Lisa's removing the blanket, picks up the gun, and meanwhile, Lauren buzzes the apartment manager.
Yes. And she claims to have forgotten her keys to Franco's place.
That's right. And he obviously recognises her, lets her in, and they hear Lisa firing the gun.
Yes, just before they arrive at the apartment door.
It wasn't clear to me where she shot the gun.
No.
They never find a bullet.
True.
They only find one in him.
Yes, she must have shot it just outside into the sky.
Anyway, she escapes in time, and Lauren and Ruddick, the manager, open the door and find Nick Franco deceased.
Lauren rushes and bends over him in apparent grief.
Yes.
The apartment is now the crime scene.
It surely is.
Place is covered with cops as Columbo arrives looking cold and tired.
Yeah, they're using every Columbo cliche in the book.
They are.
In one scene.
We will get through them all, but yeah, he listens as the ME calls the time of death at 2 a.m. and a sergeant explains the robbery theory.
There's always a stupid theory.
Apparently jewellery and some other money was taken, but there was about $5,000 worth in a clip that was not. Now, I didn't really understand this whole money clue that they left behind.
I don't know if they knew about the money.
Yeah, but if you're going to simulate a robbery with someone you've shot, the first thing you do is, on the body, take the wallet, a watch, if you're acting like a robber.
They're simulating him disturbing a robbery. So the stuff that was on him wouldn't have been taken because they'd have been leaving as soon as they shot him.
Yeah, fair enough.
For fear of having raised an alarm.
Yeah, okay. Even as Columbo is being told about this, he seems more interested in getting a coffee and eating a boiled egg, and again using an ashtray for the shell.
He does that. He also starts trying to take food and drink from the victim's home.
Yes.
Surely that's evidence.
Of course
or
it is.
Potentially evidence.
How many times in Columbo have we had a death that has not been caused by the obvious?
I think this is the equivalent of dead man's cheese.
I agree. You should not, again, going back to my, I was in Hazardous, I was a bit annoyed by the immediate discovery of the cigarettes.
Yeah, this is with the freezer, immediately seeing the defrosting when he goes for his orange juice.
Yeah, but not just that. It's the method, or the death has been caused by a heart attack in Hazardous, apparently.
Yeah.
But Columbo immediately doesn't just accept the obvious cause of death. So in this case, he has been shot, and he accepts that. Perhaps the orange juice in the fridge was poisoned and made to look like a robbery.
Shot him after he was dead.
Yeah. Why in this case does he immediately accept the cause of death and just think, and the same with Dead Man's Cheese.
Yeah, it could have been laced with poison.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fridge freezer for a moment?
Sure.
They made this clue unnecessarily complicated.
Go on.
So the clue is that when they switched the power for the lights off, the fridge went off. But the fridge didn't go off because it was on the same circuit as the lights. The fridge went off because a substitute cleaner was in and plugged the fridge into a different plug than it's normally plugged in after she cleaned them behind it, so that plug on the same socket went off when the lights went off, but the normal plug wouldn't have.
I'll take your word for it. So,
well, it doesn't make sense. Why not just have that entire socket go off with the lights? Why do they have to have it being a different cleaner who's plugged it in a different part of the same socket?
That's too complicated for me, Ian. If any of our listeners want to respond to Ian's point, I'm sure it's worthwhile.
The only one thing is, I think the circuit next to it might be marked fridge freezer.
Mm-hmm.
But then they need to have that. It just made something really simple, the fridge and the light being on one socket, into something complicated.
Okay.
Anyway, it's just an added layer of, density that we didn't need.
The sergeant continues to point out that lots of cash has been left, but that other expensive items were taken before realising that Columbo is still wearing his pyjamas.
Why would he still be wearing his pyjamas?
No idea.
Doesn't make any sense.
Has
His
he
wife doesn't
forgot?
let him.
Yeah, he gets out of bed. This is a common occurrence for Columbo. He's a detective. It's not that this happened once every 10 years.
It's that they've taken Columbo's arrival from 4 different episodes of the original run and squished them into one.
Yep.
So he's got boiled egg, he's very tired, he's just out of bed and he's bedraggled and he's wearing his pyjamas. Anyway, he gets called through to the kitchen because his colleague's getting irritable.
Yes. He notices that the heating has been turned up and is confused as apparently the victim did not return home until 2 a.m.
This is a bad one.
Why?
You're assuming that the victim managed the heat in a logical way.
Yes.
Why would you assume that?
You shouldn't.
What if he just likes it really hot in his apartment? What if he thinks it's good for his skin or something to have sweat?
Yeah. This is another clue that would not stand up in court.
Or what if he knew he wasn't coming until 2 a.m, so he put the heat up before he went out so the house was nice and warm when he got back?
I agree. So he goes to speak with the manager, who he very brusquely questions about the times of the comings and goings in the complex.
Yep.
And then hearing a noise from the other room, Columbo is informed by another cop that it is a lady.
I think it's really inappropriate almost immediately.
Yeah, well, what does he start to do?
Well, not Columbo, the other policeman starts saying, oh, she's a knockout. Why are you commenting on what she looks like?
Yep.
My boyfriend's just been murdered.
Yeah, we can... This is... Since you've mentioned it, we can discuss this just now. Faye Dunaway, in her prime, was, by all measures, a looker.
Sure.
Okay? And she is still a very handsome woman in her 50s at this point.
Sure.
But the way people act in this episode, they're acting because they know it's as if they know it's Faye Dunaway, who was a massive star, especially back in 10, 15, 20 years prior.
Yeah.
They're not acting like this is a real woman. She is a very easy on the eye, more mature lady. But especially when you get to Barney's Beanery later, she walks in and everyone sort of stops playing pool and stares. She's not that good looking in her 50s at this point. She's nice. But, have you seen her? Whoa, Columbo, check out this hottie. There have been far more attractive women in Columbo than Faye Dunaway. I'll tell you that. Far more attractive women who don't get the same. They're only doing this because they've managed to get the star Faye Dunaway on the episode, so they're playing up to her real life. They're playing up to who she is as opposed to the character who's a not unattractive 50-odd-year-old.
Well, I think the opposite. I think they're trying to make the character out to be a stunning beauty.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Regardless of what she looked like. Whether she quite reaches that standard or not is subjective.
No, but
the character's meant to be a stunning beauty.
No, but only because it's Faye Dunaway playing her.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think they wanted the character to be a beautiful older woman.
And that's fine, she is, but she's not drop dead like everyone. She walks into the room and everyone would be, wow, look at her. She's not that, in my opinion. She's very good looking for her age, and she's attractive, but this is LA. You know what I'm saying? Seeing good looking women walking about, I just don't, it doesn't ring true for me. I think it's just because it's Faye Dunaway, they're making sure that they make her feel good. They're
pandering to her ego.
Maybe not even her ego. Maybe I'm not suggesting it's her. I'm not suggesting in any way that it's for her benefit. She's requested it or they felt like they had to act this way. But I just think that they know this is Faye Dunaway. They've got a major star in the revival Columbo, and they're using her reputation that's not really warranted in the universe of this episode.
Well, that's your opinion.
Yep, only my opinion.
Columbo is sufficiently shamed that he hides his pyjamas by buttoning his coat up.
In fact, I'm not finished yet. She is the equivalent. She is the female equivalent of Wayne Jennings.
I don't think she's that bad.
Not her, not how she acts, but the perception. Everyone else who sees her wants her.
Except the person that she tries to seduce in this episode.
We'll go on to that later.
Okay.
Where were we?
Columbo hides his pyjamas by buttoning his coat up. Have we seen him button his coat up before? Maybe a couple of times.
Yeah, in fact, Uneasy Lies the Crown. When he first appears, he says, this jacket's not got a lining. And he sort of buttons it up a little bit.
Yeah,
and he's trying to get into the house for a bagel and a coffee.
He speaks to Lauren, and she confirms that she'd arranged to stop by at 2 a.m. after her party, but forgot to bring her key, and was allowed into the building by Ruddock, and they both heard the shot together and entered the room or the apartment, and Nick was on the floor.
Correct. Columbo is very compassionate, isn't he, from the outset?
Yeah, he wants to know if she requires anonymity, if she wants her name off the reports, and she doesn't. She's got nothing to hide. People knew about her and Nick, it wasn't a secret.
He wants her to be able to try and identify some of the jewellery that's missing, but he says, listen, this can wait till another day, it's not a priority.
Yep, absolutely. She fills him in on Nick's movements. He'd been at the party, left for poker, insisted in going.
Yeah, he also gives her, this is odd, he says, oh, you must be cold, here, have my coffee. And he gives her his coffee mug. And then she doesn't drink it through the rest of the scene, so he asks for it back.
I thought she had the coffee mug when he went in.
No, he gives her the coffee mug.
Does he?
His coffee mug.
Well, that changes things a wee bit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yes, she doesn't drink the coffee.
No.
And decides to drive herself home. And Columbo lays an egg.
Yes. And as he handles this egg, he ponders.
As always.
We are at Lauren's home. Now, is this also her business? Because she had an outside shot which seemed to have some writing on the wall. I wasn't sure if
I thought it was a van. Are they not collecting the stuff from the party, the caterers and whoever else?
Was that what it was?
I don't recall writing on the wall, but I could be wrong.
Okay, maybe it was. She is on the phone to Lisa again and telling her everything is fine, everything went well. Just then, she spots Columbo outside filling a basin of water for Dog.
Cameo there from Dog.
Yep. And she reassures Lisa that everything has went according to plan, not to worry. Columbo enters and she comes downstairs in her dressing gown. And this is where the real sort of nauseating flirting begins.
Yeah, it does. Thinking of Dog, though.
What
season does he get Dog?
Oh.
This is an unnaturally long-lived dog,
Well,
surely.
we've discussed this before, Ian.
No, not the actor. Obviously, it's been a change of actor playing the role, but the character must be an
Well,
exceptionally old dog.
Dog was first introduced in Etude because the young girl was trying to give him different
Season
names.
2,
Yeah.
1972.
Uh-huh.
We're now in 1994.
Yeah.
22 years old. He wasn't a puppy at that point.
I don't own a dog. Do owners tend to give other dogs the same name just so they can keep some sort of continuity?
Creepy owners maybe do. Apologies to anyone offended.
Okay. So you would like to see Dog 2?
Well, if they want to call him Dog 2.
So they head out to the patio and Columbo asks some questions and he rabbits on again about his smelly feet.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a pick-up from last week's episode.
Yeah, but really? I don't want to be thinking of Columbo's sweaty feet every week.
I think this is 6 months or so after the previous episode, so that's a good continuity thing.
Right, so we know his grubby little fingers will be stinking of cigar smoke and egg. And now we know he's got sweaty, smelly feet.
And if he's eating boiled eggs all day...
Oh, we don't even... So we know the way it comes in, the way it comes... Both those orifices as well are in some state.
Stress.
Oh my.
But I wonder if maybe like underneath it all he's actually a really clean and well-groomed man.
I do not want to picture Columbo's...
personal hygiene.
No.
Well, you never see a visceral reaction from anyone he bumps into or meets.
No.
Nobody vomits on the pavement as he walks by or anything.
Yeah. That's why I think it's the cigar is there as a shield. It covers all the other odours. It's basically his form of deodorant.
Well,
masking agent.
Cigars are nice smelling.
I like a sweet pipe. Not to smoke, the smell of it. You don't smell them much these days, but...
Smell like the football. If you go to like an old ground where they don't enforce the smoking legislation so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good pipe smell wafting across the terraces.
That can be quite pleasant.
Yeah.
Talking about cigars, he pulls out his and... Again, one of the few times where he actually asks for permission.
He does, and she's quite happy.
Not only is she quite happy, she likes it.
She likes the smell of cigars, so she's found a match.
Yeah, and you're half expecting Columbo to say, oh shucks in this episode a few times. It's
like, you imagine Peter Falk almost wrote this for himself. It's like, let's get Columbo totally flattered by a beautiful older woman.
He almost wrote, he did write this for himself, as we know. We can discuss this episode, we'll get to that. But yeah, dearie me, Peter. She wants me. She wants me.
It reminds me a lot of, I don't know if you've seen Patrick Stewart's episode of Extras, when he's been writing scripts.
No.
He's, every script he's written, he's in a scene with a woman, and then suddenly her clothes fall off, and she tries to catch them, but I've seen everything. He's got like 3 of these scripts.
Yeah.
It's really good. Coffee cup. He talks about the coffee cup and how he noticed she didn't drink it and she used it to keep her hands warm.
Yes. She also discusses with Columbo the fact that Franco owned a very expensive Piaget watch, but other than that and his Rolex, there was little else of value in his apartment.
Can't say I'd heard of Piaget until recently.
Until I sent you a link to a website which sells Piaget watches, and I was laughing because some of them are worth nearly $200,000. I think the average price of one of these watches is maybe $30,000 or $40,000, but you can get some at, like I say, touching $200,000. And I have to laugh because at the very top of this website, there was a code for free shipping. It was free ship. You can save yourself $10, but it was only in the US, only domestic.
So you've got your $200,000 watch,
Yep.
but you haven't had to pay to ship it.
Yep, you have to put a code in. So it's not like do you know what? The cheapest watch you can buy here is $9,000. We will make sure we send this out by courier, special signed for delivery.
Anyhow, yeah, Columbo doesn't push too far after that in terms of the jewellery. He's talked about the heat in the coffee hands. Coffee hands? The heat from the coffee in her hands, and a bit about circulation problems.
Yeah.
And then he indicates he's not feeling so good.
Ma'am, excuse me, do you have anything for a headache?
No, I'm sure we do.
Do you have aspirin?
I don't know.
Well, I prefer aspirin, ma'am. Those other brands, they don't seem to work for me.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what we have, but I'm sure we must have something in the house.
Well, if you're not sure what you have, don't bother. I can pick something up at the drugstore. But thank you anyway.
I'll see you out.
And I have to tell you, ma'am, that you have it's a beautiful house.
Oh,
And your foyer, well, I mean, it's the kind of thing that I've only seen in the movies. It's really something. Nice sense of humor, ma'am. I like the cigar. If it'll make you feel any better, ma'am, your guests thought it was a lovely party.
You spoke to my guests?
We have to verify everyone's story. We got their names from your secretary. In fact, one lady said, talking about the food and the music and the guests, except for your headache, it was a perfect evening.
That's nice to hear.
Good day, ma'am.
He told a porcupine there at least once.
What was that?
I've only seen houses like this in the movies.
That's not true.
He's been in many of those houses.
Yeah. As we have established, he is a little fibber.
Constantly.
Can't help himself.
Well, that's it. I think it's just
I think he enjoys
pathological.
it. Yeah. As we have discussed, Lauren Staton was played by Faye Dunaway, born in 1941. She has had 3 Oscar nominations, with 1 win in 1977 for Network. She has 10 Golden Globe nominations, including this episode. And she has had 3 Golden Globe wins. She also won an Emmy for this performance.
Well deserved. I thought she was very good.
3 BAFTA nominations with 1 win. However, she has had 8 Razzie nominations and 2 wins. 1 for her lead role in Mommy Dearest. Now, you might have remembered from last week's episode.
Yep, you mentioned that.
Steve Forrest, who played the Big Fred, he won a Razzie for the lead role in that also.
An odd couple.
So she's known for Network, Chinatown, a fantastic movie, Bonnie and Clyde, and Supergirl, which starred Brenda Vaccaro, who was his sister in
Murder in Malibu.
Yep, and Hart Bochner, who is the son of Lloyd Bochner, who played Borowski in The Most Dangerous Match. So
That's
a little
the-
Columbo connection there.
The coach for the Challenger.
Yes, he had a moustache.
Yes. Speaking of Supergirl, we move to a payphone.
We do. And Lauren calls Lisa again to put her mind at ease. She tells her that Columbo only wanted to talk about the jewellery, but admits that she can't quite work him out. She can't quite work out what he is thinking.
Yeah, but she thinks the case is rock solid.
Yeah. She also says that she thinks that Columbo likes her, and at that point we see Columbo discreetly watching her from inside a clothes shop.
That annoyed me.
Why?
I didn't know how he knew to be there.
He mentions it.
He does after that, but when I first saw it, I was like, no, what's he doing there? What are the chances?
Yeah, but I wasn't sure the passage of time from the previous scene to this scene.
There was some passage of time.
Yeah. She then enters this clothes shop and is startled by Columbo just grabbing her.
Yeah, it was a bit unkind, wasn't it?
Yeah, she tells him as much.
She's not happy.
No. She asks how she can help him, and Columbo is apparently impressed that she did not react in the normal way, by assuming that when the cop appears, it's because he has news about the case.
Well, that's her suspicion, isn't it? He knows that she thinks he doesn't have news because she knows what happened.
Of course. He needs some points clarified.
Yeah, this is a weird exchange, I thought.
Okay, why?
She confirmed she was disappointed that Franco left, but she can't remember exactly what he said.
Yeah.
And Columbo makes a point about how that won't look good on the report.
No. Doesn't really make a lot of sense.
She'd already said, I think, that he was going to play poker.
Yeah.
In the
or
previous
gin or
interview.
something. Yeah.
Anyway, she starts flirting with Columbo to distract him. And there's a moment there that reminds us of a previous episode.
There is. It is in Requiem for a Falling Star.
Yeah, and that time it was the wardrobe department. The
Yep.
famous
And-
guest star whose name escapes me right now.
Yeah, but gets him sorted out with a new tie.
That's it. It's a terrible tie she chooses, though.
Oh, yeah.
I wondered if that was on purpose or if it was just
I think it's
that
a
she's had
style.
bad taste.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day of the 1990s.
20 odd years ago now, fashions and ties have changed dramatically.
Stop. It was about 10 years ago.
If only.
Anyway, he writes poker down on his note and thanks her for the gift
Yeah.
and her help.
As he leaves, it's quite weird as well. He tells her that he would never lie to her.
That's him flirting.
You think?
Yeah.
Ugh. We hear a tinkle of this old man.
Yeah, a couple of times in this episode.
We're back to this phone booth again.
Yeah, Lauren has transformed into the Incredible Hulk.
Uh-huh. She appears spooked by Columbo now and calls Elisa. They have to meet in 30 minutes and they tell each other that they love them. They love each other.
They love themselves.
Well, yeah, sort of.
One another, yeah. Yeah, so, but not in a romantic way. They don't say it in a, I can't wait to see you.
So what did you think that meant then? Why would they love each
I
other?
had no idea. I thought they're doing this really badly. If these guys are in a relationship, it's being played weird.
But that's what I'm saying. Did you not think that it was just because that even back then, even in the 90s, primetime TV would not have been able to be too overt about a lesbian relationship?
I don't know if that's true.
No?
There was a lesbian relationship in Deep Space Nine in the 90s. In
Was
one
it?
episode.
Oh, well.
Anyway, I think it was a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, so I thought they kept hinting at it, so I couldn't rule it out, but I did not get the impression of the two of them being in a relationship at all, and I thought if they are, then it's not been done particularly well.
So we see them meet. I think it's in a restaurant, the bathroom of a restaurant.
Yeah, Lisa's been hiding out in a stall. Lauren wants to be certain there's no connection between Lisa and Nick.
And Lisa says, yeah, that is the case. They have never...
Yeah, not in LA anyway. She hasn't been across to that side of the mountain.
Yep.
And not met anyone in LA that he knew. She'd only been there for 10 days.
However, Lauren suggests that Lisa should return back home to Rome.
Lisa's quite shocked by this.
Yes. I think that she thought they were a team now. They had this mutual connection, as bond through murder, that they would be...
Together forever.
Yeah. I think if you had just committed such a crime, you're feeling scared, you're vulnerable.
Lean on one another.
Yeah.
Lauren explains that she's worried about Columbo. He's got too many questions. But she can handle him. Yeah, she says if a beautiful woman plays her cards right, she'll usually get what she wants.
Correct.
I'm not sure that's a statement of fact, but it's an assertion.
No, it would not work on me for a second.
Nope, nor me.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Probably. Lisa wants to wait on going back to Rome. She doesn't want to leave Lauren yet, she says.
Yeah.
And they agree on that, and Lisa leaves the room.
So we head over to Franco's apartment, and we have a bit of clunky direction here as we see Columbo's notebook showing that he knows someone was in the apartment after 10 p.m. and before 2 a.m.
It's a lack of trust in the audience there.
Yeah.
They've already given us this clue.
The sergeant is trying to act professionally and discuss the numerous bills, but Columbo is in the kitchen and more interested in finding jam for his peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, he's continuing to steal food and drink from this deceased man.
Yeah. Although he does inquire as to where the telephone bill is, because the sergeant's rhyming off all these other bills, and Columbo notes that the telephone bill is not there.
It's a strange one.
So he tells him to call the phone company to try and find out where it is.
Phone line's dead.
Yep. Apparently the manager shut it down as Franco was dead.
Yeah, so why keep paying for it?
Quite right.
10 days ago, disconnected.
Columbo goes down to the manager's apartment and he is disgusted by Columbo's choice of sandwich filling, which is...
It's peanut butter and raisins.
You've mentioned this before.
I'm not a peanut butter fan.
Yeah. The sergeant appears again to let Columbo know that while the phone was cut off yesterday by the manager, the number was disconnected 10 days prior.
Yes. It's a shocking twist.
It is. The manager was played by Bill Macy. Born in 1922, he has been in LA Law, Murder, She Wrote, but is most famous for appearing in 137 episodes of Maude.
Of what?
Maude.
What's that?
Sitcom from the 70s with, what do you call her? The big one from the Golden Girls.
Sizist.
Yep. Oh, B. Arthur.
There you go.
Great friends with B. Arthur. In fact, another thing, Bill Macy is the reason why William H. Macy has to go by the name of William H. Macy, because Bill Macy already exists.
These things are always exciting to find out. He's the narrator in Curious George cartoons, which
Is
I
he?
see constantly.
So
William
do I.
H. Macy.
Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah. I was watching that yesterday.
I think I've seen them all. I've also got them all in book form.
Yeah, I was watching the feature-length one. Where the elephant in the
There's 3 of them.
one in the circus, the elephant, that one.
Okay. In fact, there's the movies which aren't quite the same as the series, with Will Ferrell and Drew Barrymore. They're not quite as good.
Columbo heads over to the telephone company, and it doesn't look anything like a telephone company. It looks just like someone's little office.
It does. There's no record of Nicholas Franco at that address.
But they do have one at a P.O. box, which was started 10 days prior, and that he had a previous number which she gives to Columbo.
All ties up.
She also gives him the number and the contact details of a person that he dialed 12 times in the last 10 days.
It's the only person that he dialed in those 10 days.
We make our first trip to Barney's Beanery next.
Yeah, I was going to make a quick point about the phone company. It's very efficient of them to change his phone line the day that this woman arrives in town. Have you ever tried to get your phone company to do anything in a day?
Doesn't happen.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Barney's.
The owner notes Columbo's new tie, and he is told he has reasons for wearing it.
He's given abuse over this new tie by Barney, so obviously they've got a relationship in there.
I like Barney.
John Finnegan.
He certainly is. We've mentioned John Finnegan many times before.
Of course.
This is his 9th of 12 Columbo episodes, and the first of 3 as Barney.
Good, I like Barney. It did change the tone of the episode, though. It was almost like a different show.
It was. I enjoyed it. It did. You're right. It did change the tone, but I thought it worked well, and I'm quite happy to have this comic relief for a.
It did kind of walk the tightrope of sitcom.
It did. They discussed the fact that it is odd that this beautiful woman is making a play for Columbo, who is no Robert Redford.
That's true, and Columbo's supposed to be investigating her. And he doesn't understand why she's doing this, so he's thinking about it because he doesn't like things he doesn't understand.
He heads over to the hair salon, and Lauren is perturbed to see Columbo waiting for her. But she plays it quite casual and flirty as she has been doing.
Yeah, he's bought her a cigar in a weird Bill Clinton moment.
Yep. She doesn't smoke.
No, I don't think that's what he wants her to do with it.
Tightrope, Ian. The tightrope that you mentioned.
Yes, almost a sitcom.
Columbo has another problem. Why was the electricity off in the apartment?
Yeah, or at least why was the fridge freezer turned off?
Yeah, he knows the electricity was off for a period because of this. She tries to deflect again by messing about with his tie and pretending not to be interested in what he's talking about.
Yeah, she starts talking about a hat.
He presses ahead and is rewarded in a special way.
She draws him into a corner and then starts slobbering all over him.
Yeah, she kisses him and offers him a date.
Yeah, and he lets her kiss him a second time.
Yeah, this is...
Mrs. Columbo's not going to enjoy the footage.
This is weird, isn't it? Every episode, Columbo gets Mrs. Columbo mentioned as soon as possible. Now we've got this glamorous woman, not a peep about Mrs. C.
But it's his strategy when suspects start going off him and just to let them see where they go.
Oh,
How far would he have taken it, though?
I know how far.
The front door, no further.
I don't know these baseball terms, but whacking one right out the park. A home run.
You think Columbo would have done that?
Yeah.
I don't know if that plays into the character that we know.
With Barney at the same time.
No, you can't. What? No! He doesn't even know Barney that well.
He did, yeah, he does. What, Columbo? Best pals.
Since when?
Oh, many years, decades.
Just never mentioned him before.
Nope. As she is leaving in her car, Columbo reappears and she asks for his first name.
It says it's Lieutenant.
Yeah, haha. See that? He's quick-witted.
You think she'd pick up on the fact he's not sharing?
He has one more thing. How did she know that Franco was not in his apartment? And she gives a couple of explanations, but Columbo has further questions.
If he thought you were in the apartment, why would he let himself in with his keys?
Well, I would think, Lieutenant, that he rang the bell. And because I was with the manager, no one answered, and so he let himself in with his key.
Oh, right. You were with the manager, right. So he rang, and then... but the trouble with that is that ringing would have warned the thieves and they would have run out.
Well, maybe it did. But they didn't have enough time to get all the way out.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. In other words, they started to run, but he came in too fast, right. Okay. No good. You see, the problem with that is the direction of the bullet that shot him came from his left. From someone standing in the hallway that led to the bedroom. If the thieves were running out and they shot him, the bullet would have come from the direction of the sliding glass doors that lead to the patio. Oh, I tell you, I don't know this case. It has me stumped. I got a million questions.
Why don't you just give it a rest? Stop worrying it.
Yeah.
See you tonight,
Right.
8 o'clock.
So it doesn't really add up for Columbo.
No, he knows something is
amiss.
Back to the phone booth.
She's telling Lisa, who we later learn is her daughter, that she will do anything to Columbo to get him to drop the case.
Yeah, basically she's saying she'll bang him if required.
She is, to her daughter. Why would you tell her daughter that?
In fairness, she's murdered with her daughter. Telling her daughter that she'd be happy to have sex with a man isn't...
Anyway, she says she'll charm him, seduce him, or even run off to Mexico, which I presume is code for...
bang him.
Something like that. I was going to say elope.
Well, it's not code, is it? Running off is the same as elope. It's not a euphemism.
It's not the best code, I admit.
Let's see if we can get... What do you got?
See if you can figure out what I mean.
Bletchley Park involved here.
She just wants him to be more interested in her than
Yeah.
in the investigation, and Lisa is concerned.
She says that he is fun. Genuinely likes him. And she would happily be with him.
There you go. There's new daddy for Lisa.
Uncle Stinky Cheese.
You can't say that sort of thing about Columbo in the Columbo podcast.
Of course you can. Well, he reeks. He reeks of cheese, egg, cigar, sweat.
Why are you so angry with him this week?
Don't know.
Is it because he wrote a script to get himself kissed off feed? I know.
Yes, again. Chimps, right? Okay.
He's seen everything.
Peter, are you going to do another episode? Are you going to do another TV special? Nah. Go on. Can I write it? Will you sticking to a strict Columbo format? Sort of. Where he's an odd little man who everyone thinks is a nuisance, a dirty little rascal. Yeah, a little bit. Faye Dunaway will be
Almost everybody.
Almost everyone, apart from what? Well, I want Faye Dunaway. You mean the 70s sex icon? Yep. Okay, Columbo. She's going to really be annoyed with you, is she? Yeah? She'll hate you up the usual. She'll treat you with like a piece of dirt on the bottom of her soul. Not quite. Let me see the script. No. I think we should roll the cameras. Let me see the script. Wait a second, folk. She wants you. Yeah. She really wants you. Not just like she's playing, but she actually says in one line, no, I really do like him. Yeah. With your sweaty feet. Yeah, she likes that. And my cigar.
But she can't have me.
But she's not having me. Yeah. They all want me. She's not having me. And also, I'm going to act a big man in front of her daughter. Let her daughter go as well. She probably wants me as well. I could probably have some mother-daughter action here. Columbo, folk. No. Not doing it then. Right, okay. Anyway.
Lisa leaves her own little apartment.
Yes.
Columbo's waiting outside.
Watching her.
Yeah, we assume hers was the number from the phone bill.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a little riff of this old man again as she leaves, and he does not get out the car to speak to her.
No.
She is gone, and he enters...
Illegally. No search warrant.
You would think.
And how does he get in? You don't see him mess about with the lock. He just opens the door.
Who knows? Maybe he's got a police master key that opens everybody's house.
You can see he just opens the door and walks in.
Maybe she doesn't lock her door.
Why would you not lock your door?
And how did he know she wouldn't lock her door?
Exactly. Nonsense.
Anyway, there's things on the bed, photos in a case. Columbo looks at the photos, keeps one of them and has a wee thought.
He steals. That's not admissible in court.
He's done that before. He did that in...
Oh, he didn't.
Death Hits the Jackpot.
Yes. But that's fine, because that was on the crime scene. It was taking pictures, so he's entitled to do that. It's a murder scene, so he's taking evidence.
It's slightly different.
Yeah, he's illegally entered into someone's house and stole stuff.
There you go. He changes his tie.
Yes.
He gets some weird suspenseful music.
Because that signifies he's now playing the game. He's putting his mask on. He's now going back into Pervy Pete mode.
Pickup artist.
Yeah.
Back at the Staten home, I'm thinking this must be 8 o'clock, but no, it's the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, and he appears with a guitar case and a camera.
It's a violin case, isn't it?
A lot bigger than a violin
Is it
case.
Bigger? Okay, maybe bigger. I don't think it was as big as a guitar case.
Small guitar case, one of those Paul McCartney.
What's in between a viola case?
He takes a picture of Lauren in the hallway when he's on his own. That's a little bit creepy.
He takes a picture of the photo, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
She's out in the garden with friends.
The maid informs her that Columbo is here, and she comes back in to speak to him.
Yep, she's got a couple of guesses about why he might have come.
Uh-huh.
He can't make it later, or he has one more question.
Yeah.
And as ever, there's one more question.
No, before that, he has something for her, and he asks or tells her to close the blinds.
Well, that is the one more thing. He's not got a question, it's just...
Yeah, sure, yeah.
He's brought her something.
Creepy that. You can't say turn the blinds down. After this flirting, come in here, I've got something for you. Close the blinds. He changes his mind. He says, actually, I can't be here when you open this up. I'm far too embarrassed. I'll leave you to do it. If you get any questions, how to operate it, where the batteries go, you can give me a call at headquarters or something like that.
I hoped, I'm sure you thought the same thing.
What?
I hoped it was a Jack in the Box.
That would have been good.
He's definitely still coming later on.
He confirms that the hot date is still on.
And as he drives off, she comes running out to thank him for the massive bouquet of flowers, which he presumably harmed the investigation by buying for her.
Yeah. Taxpayers' money.
I think it's inappropriate, isn't it? Inducements of some kind? Anyway.
We see him in the car, and he's pockets this roll of film that he used to take the picture of the picture with.
Yeah, he's off to Le Petit Chateau.
They toast each other and talk about us.
Yeah, you wonder, has he told Mrs. Columbo about his strategy? He doesn't tell her about anything else, I don't think.
Well, I've mentioned that in my notes later. How much of this do you think he's totally upfront? Now listen, Mrs. C.
I'm doing a case.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I might have to bang Faye Dunaway.
And come home smelling of perfume.
Yeah.
Or going out smelling of whatever his eau de toilette is.
Jeez. So yeah, no, I'm not sure how much I think he's keeping this from Mrs. Columbo.
I suspect he might. But she would be suspicious because she's not daft. Lauren has a theory.
Yeah, before she gets this theory, They talk about their problems that they have.
Well,
His
that's
report,
the theory that I'm talking about. She's got this problem, and he's got a problem.
what are these?
Well, his problem
problems?
is he's got, like you say, a report to file.
Uh-huh.
And her problem is that she's attracted to him.
And his nice head of hair.
Yes, so she'll help him with his problem if he helps her with hers.
Uh-huh.
So basically she's, in no uncertain terms, offering to do what he wants in exchange for a report that does not point to her.
Yeah. She's prostituting herself here.
In exchange for freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of freedom is it really?
Yeah, if you have to bang Columbo, I would rather go to jail.
Speak for yourself, some of the audience may disagree.
No doubt.
Anyway, we're pretty confident Columbo has no intention of taking this too far.
Not confident at all.
I was pretty confident. He loves Mrs. Columbo, we know that. She kisses him again.
She does.
She moves away to a seat further from him to control herself.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes you think, is she acting here?
You think?
Really?
You think that Columbo, she has to physically remove herself for fear of...
Being unable to control herself?
Yeah.
Columbo still doesn't understand why the heat was up. Although, like I said earlier, there's no evidence the heat wasn't put up earlier. Yeah. He is told that he should focus on all the people in the area with a circulation problem. But he's going to narrow that down to people with both a circulation problem and a key to the apartment.
Yeah, so he is still playing this game with her. He's not been totally...
This is him flat out accusing her.
Pretty much.
He orders more drinks and she nibbles his ear. Which, ironically, is what she was annoyed at Franco for earlier.
Barney was talking about Nick last night. I'm going to use his exact words. Scumbucket.
I'm surprised you would repeat that to me.
He went on to say that Nick was the type that used... Okay, forget that. I won't repeat that. I'm bringing it up because in going through Nick's personal effects, I noticed that his golf membership was canceled. He canceled a life insurance policy. There was an IOU for $30,000. And this all took place about 3 months ago. So I was wondering, did Nick ever talk to you about marriage or money?
Lieutenant, I've always been willing to discuss with you the circumstances surrounding Nick's death. I've always been willing to discuss with you my relationship with Nick. And anything else you wanted to talk about. The lights, the refrigerator, my circulation problem, and God knows what else. But this is unpleasant. This hurts.
Columbo's headed over to Barney's and he wipes away the lipstick and removes his tie and he gets a bit of olfactory advice from Barney.
He does. But I think that whilst he's doing this, in fairness to him, you get the feeling he feels a little bit disgusted by himself or with himself. It reminded me of No Time to Die. You see Columbo with the lipstick on, removing it off and going, oh, what am I doing here? This is disgusting.
That didn't happen in No Time to Die. Columbo didn't put on the lipstick.
Not that we saw.
No. Anyway, what Barney says is, boy, you smell like a French whore. To be honest, I'm surprised you didn't use that as the intro clip.
Could have been, yeah, too short.
Well, Columbo responds by saying this is a tough case.
Yeah. It's not that tough, is it?
I think he's being sarcastic.
You think? No, I don't think so. He says it quite a few times. I think he knows he's putting himself in a tough position.
Well, he's trying to follow the lead as far as it'll go.
Oh, yeah.
If not further. Back to the payphone.
Lauren tells Lisa about the heating issue and that Columbo suspects that she was there.
But otherwise she had a good night.
Yeah. She's confident that he has no proof. And she tells Lisa not to worry.
No one knows that Lisa even exists. And Lisa's going to go to Rome on Saturday.
Yeah. Back to Barney's.
This is the scene that I talked about as being tantamount to sitcom.
Okay. Columbo is bemoaning how tough this case is and Barney is unimpressed with Columbo's problems.
Yeah, he says just let her go if there's no case against her. And Columbo says he needs a confession.
Yeah. The commissioner, he burps in the background.
Yeah, they certainly made an interesting choice to replace the last commissioner.
Yeah. What's that, Halperin?
Yeah, was there one in between?
Oh, yeah, there's been a few.
Yeah.
In fact, Finnegan
Finnegan not one?
Yeah, he was.
Maybe that's why he's retired to do the diner. Anyway.
There's a nice line here.
Okay.
Because they're talking about, this beautiful woman, and Columbo says that if he ever has to arrest an angel, he would bring cuffs for her hands and rope for her wings.
Yeah, he's just playing a game, he's not going along with her. Barney, conveniently, has had dealings with Franco.
Yes.
Which you think he might have mentioned before.
You would have thought that. And how does he describe him?
Well, we mentioned it earlier, he's a scumbucket.
Yep.
He used women, he stole from other people's wallets.
The Commissioner agrees.
Columbo's got a problem.
Yeah, he admits to liking her, but he thinks that she did it.
I think he says the more he spends time with her, the more he thinks she did it.
Yeah. Barney, however, believes in natural justice, I suppose. He toasts her. This guy was a scumbag, and as far as Barney's concerned, then Columbo should not pursue it too vigorously.
Yeah, Barney sums it up. He knows how everyone's thinking. Lauren's trying to save herself. Columbo's trying to break the case, and she thinks he's going to give her a break, and he knows he isn't.
Yeah. Barney wants to know if Columbo would marry her. Did he kiss her, or did he sleep with her?
Columbo doesn't say too much.
No, he's a bit embarrassed, I think, and doesn't want to get into this discussion. But as you mentioned, Barney sees the relationship for what it is. It's a game for both of them.
Yeah.
I thought this was a fun scene. I did like it.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea of Barney, philosopher at large, coming along and advising Columbo. We've not had Columbo take that kind of advice before.
I don't think Columbo takes it. He doesn't take it.
No, but still, he gets offered it.
Yeah. It ends with the Commissioner telling Barney that George has money for Columbo's tab.
Yeah.
Barney tells him to shut up.
We're back at Franco's apartment.
Columbo is talking to the cleaner. Why is she still there?
I think she's come back
Why?
to clean.
Yeah, why? Her boss is dead. She ain't getting paid.
Maybe the apartment complex provides her.
Could do.
Or maybe she's been brought in to clean it before they put it out to let.
Yeah,
Or maybe Columbo's just asked her to come and meet him there.
sure.
But she's dressed like a maid.
Yeah. She's showing him how she cleans the fridge inside and out, and as she does, the plug falls from the socket behind, and she shows how she puts it back in, and tells him that on the day of the murder, her sister was covering for her.
Yep.
Now, why is that important?
Well, it's not, but like I mentioned earlier, Columbo notes that the plug she just replaced it in wasn't the one it came out of. Turns out the sister had been on that day, had plugged it into the wrong thing, which is why the circuit turned it off. And the only reason that would be relevant is if you assume there was some way that the killers knew the other socket wouldn't turn it off.
I didn't like the over-egging of the
On-off.
solution, yeah.
It was stupid.
It was stupid.
It was like Columbo playing with these shapes in Make Me a Perfect Murder.
Yep. We're in the corridor of the apartment next.
Sachs have sent a package for Columbo. I liked his little exchange with the manager.
Describe it.
Well, he says, you shop at Saks. And Columbo says, it's an excellent store. He's not giving anything away.
He slams the door. Columbo has a large package.
From Lauren. And he takes it with him to meet her for dinner.
Yeah.
She asks him what the longest he's ever worked in a case is.
Well, firstly, where are they having dinner?
I think it's Barney.
It is Barney's. The old romantic.
Mm.
Now, this is the thing. So she arrives before they start talking to the tune of Stand By Your Man into this diner. And this is the scene I mentioned where everyone sort of drops what they're doing and stares in awe at this amazingly beautiful woman in LA.
To be fair, looking at the sorts in that bar, it could be that if any woman had come in, that might have happened.
Possibly, yeah. So Columbo's, waiting for her before he opens the gift that she has given him. And as you had suggested earlier, she wants to know what the longest he has worked on a case is. And what's the answer?
Well, she's quite discouraged to learn that it's 9 years and 4 months.
Yeah, she didn't want to hear that answer, did she?
No, I think she wanted 6 weeks.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah, about now. I don't give it much longer than that.
Pass it on to somebody else.
She says, do you think you'll be working on this case this long? And she says, and he says, as long as I'm making progress.
Yeah, he now has learned how the ice melted, but he still thinks there are obstacles in his path in this investigation.
And he says that the case is getting to him.
Yep, and they talk about having a drink, but they only serve beer in this establishment.
Yeah, beer and whiskey, is it?
Beer and whiskey, yeah, but Barney has something else for them.
Yeah.
But he won't let them consume it out in the main.
They set up a table in the kitchen.
And they drink the vodka
Yep.
with their massive steaks.
Yep, look quite nice actually.
Columbo gives them a good recommendation, best in town.
He opens up the gift, and what is it?
Well, actually, it's a great gift for Columbo. It's a dog basket.
Yeah. He's delighted.
He's over the moon.
Do you think he kept that?
No, I think he'll be handed in as evidence.
Returned to him after?
Who knows? But would he want it?
Maybe. I think he quite liked her.
Lauren confirms she was seeing Nick for 3 months.
This upsets Columbo.
Yeah, he gets a bit mean.
No, I don't think he gets mean. I think he doesn't want to have to say what he goes on to say.
Barney was talking about Nick last night. I'm going to use his exact words. Scumbucket.
I'm surprised you would repeat that to me.
He went on to say that Nick was the type that used... Okay, forget that. I won't repeat that. I'm bringing it up because in going through Nick's personal effects, I noticed that his golf membership was canceled. He canceled a life insurance policy. There was an IOU for $30,000. And this all took place about 3 months ago. So I was wondering, did Nick ever talk to you about marriage or money?
Lieutenant, I've always been willing to discuss with you the circumstances surrounding Nick's death. I've always been willing to discuss with you my relationship with Nick. And anything else you wanted to talk about. The lights, the refrigerator, my circulation problem, and God knows what else. But this is unpleasant. This hurts.
Columbo doesn't insist on continuing the conversation, and she says she has no knowledge of Nick's financial affairs.
Correct.
And leaves.
Very brief scene next.
Well, Columbo's gone out of his way not to use the police facility to blow up his dodgy photo.
Yep. He retrieves these photographs, or this one particular photograph.
Yeah, he has a wee exchange with the guy at the lab saying the police could do it better, but Columbo says they're personal photos.
Yeah. LAPD next. Columbo speaks with another cop who has been following Lisa and tells him that she's been acting preoccupied. Columbo tells him to bring her in, and he then asks the phone operator to place a call to Lauren.
Yeah, he's going to bring them together.
Lauren arrives in a state of nervous anxiousness.
What other kind of anxiousness is there?
Confident anxiousness.
Okay.
She is told that apparently Columbo has picked up a suspect.
Yeah, she's invited in to watch the interrogation of this criminal.
Yeah, that's not really standard practice, is it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe from behind the screen it's not so bad.
Watch the interrogation.
Well, we saw in Prescription Murder, and the guy was brought in the room.
Yeah, that was also very, very unorthodox policing.
That's true. But I suspect Columbo knows or has a reason for doing this.
Of course. Through the glass, Lauren sees Lisa being given the bad cop treatment by 2 different cops, and Columbo explains to her how he found Lisa.
He does, and he asks Lauren if she knows her. Because he has a photo of Lauren, and he has a photo of Lisa, and they're sitting on a very similar chair.
He doesn't go as far as suggesting that they do know each other. He leaves it up to Lauren, but he says, I think you've been in the same room, the same place.
Yeah, and they have an exchange which suggests there is at least some degree of affection between them.
Yeah. Lauren pauses at this point and asks if Columbo can solve the case without the confession, and if he would do anything to hurt her. She knows the answers.
Yeah, he can't solve without a confession. He wouldn't do anything to hurt her. So she asks if he would do anything to keep from hurting her. And he says he would. He would do anything.
So at this point, she tells Columbo to let the girl go. The girl, Lisa Martin, was played by Claudia Christian. She was born in 1964 and has been in LA Law, Murder, She Wrote, Matlock, Maniac Cop 2, but as discussed, most famous for her role in Babylon 5, which you've not seen.
No.
Neither have I.
I don't even recognise her face.
Oh, do you not? Even I recognise her face. But
Okay.
I have seen Maniac Cop 2 about 13 times.
There you go. Columbo's going to do what he's been asked.
Yes, he obliges and takes Lisa outside and advises that she gets on the plane. Lauren wants it that way.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's arranged for her to be arrested at the airport.
Back in the interview room.
Yeah, we get a confession from Lauren.
Yeah, well, Columbo returns to find that she has written this confession and signed it. And then she answers some logistical questions, but she states that there was a male accomplice, an unknown accomplice who she refuses to name.
And Columbo is going to accept that, and he pushes a little bit on Lisa.
Yes, he shows Lauren the picture of Lisa and asks who she is. We get quite the answer.
It's her daughter.
Yeah. Not only does she provide that information, but she explains the uncomfortable relationship that the three of them were in.
Can you imagine? Being involved with the man in Rome. Maybe this same man was seducing your mother in Los Angeles. She was wild. She flew here and confronted him.
And?
He said he needed money, and he was going to get it from me. And she should go back to Rome and wait for him. She went berserk, started screaming. He beat her. He put his hands around her neck and choked her. He then sliced her neck with a razor and said he'd kill her if she told me. What? She told me. But we killed him first.
Columbo destroys the photo he has of Lisa and arrests Lauren.
Yeah. Are you happy with that?
Provided he's having Lisa arrested at the airport, I'm happy.
I don't think he is.
Why not? She's guilty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think...
We quickly find out he hasn't, because he goes back to Barney's and it's on the telly that they're looking for a male accomplice.
Correct.
He gives Barney his tie. He doesn't want the red one.
Uh-huh.
And he's off bowling with Mrs. Columbo because it's Thursday.
Yeah, well, Barney asks him how he can lock up someone that he felt something about. But Columbo has a great response to that.
He says, who said I felt anything about her?
Yeah.
Well, you let Lisa go.
Yeah, that's true.
That kind of suggests you did feel something. So he's maybe lying to himself a little bit. So he's going to assuage his guilt by treating his wife to a game of bowling and maybe some chili.
Last of the big spenders.
Yeah. It was a good fun episode, I thought.
It was.
Some good performances.
Very good.
Short on evidence. Bit much in the gut instinct.
Yeah.
But overall good. I thought Faye Dunaway deserves her Emmy for that performance.
Can't disagree.
I think Falk has one more nomination to come from what I know.
Par, above par, below par?
Above par.
Above par.
Yeah. It's a bad analogy though, because above par is bad in golf.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll go with it anyway.
Okay. Production information.
Okay.
31st of October 1993 at the 91-minute length. Vincent McAveety again was the director, the fourth of 7 outings. As discussed, this episode was in fact written by Peter Falk himself, his only writing credit.
It probably came with a condition, stop that.
Yep, no more. I've had enough of this.
I can only imagine where he was going to next to take it up a notch.
Do we have any trivia? Let me see. Apparently Vincent McAveety, the small role as a cop, an uncredited role in this episode. I didn't spot him, not sure which one it was.
At LAPD maybe?
Could have been.
One of the interrogators? Or they were named?
Not sure.
Who knows?
And this is the second episode where Columbo lets off a murderer.
Well, you had interesting connection actually, because it was Forgotten Lady.
Uh-huh.
So Janet Leigh,
Yeah.
her age in that episode can't be that far off what Faye Dunaway was here.
I think in that episode Janet Leigh was younger than... I think, off the top of my head, I think Leigh was maybe 48, round about that. And I think Faye Dunaway would have been around 52-ish in this episode. In fact, well, Faye Dunaway was born in 41. So this is now 93.
52 then.
She would have been around about 52. Yeah, so probably a few years older than Janet Leigh, who apparently was all washed up and a relic.
It just goes to show that even in that short period of time, there was a change in attitude.
Yeah, but I think I mentioned in that episode, Forgotten Lady, I think there was such a seismic shift in movies and cinema from the old Hollywood system.
Yeah, it wasn't so much her age.
It wasn't so much her age, it was an entirely different place, different world. Will we get on with the episode review?
Why not?
Motive.
To protect the daughter, essentially.
Yep, and a little bit of revenge.
Maybe a modicum, but I think primarily it's because they were scared of the guy.
Alibi.
At the party. No, with the manager.
Correct. Clues. I think I've missed a few. Fill me in. One of the main ones was how she acted towards Columbo. The aspirin, the fridge,